Hello, welcome back to my home theater. So today topic we gonna talk about the crossover. As you can see, I have the Wolferdale Diamond 250 series as my left and right speaker. So there was always a debate. What is the best crossover um, for the main speaker? Alright, for this Denon AVR, I have four subwoofer out and is connected to 4SB 3000 from SVS. It's also set to directional, meaning that the left main speaker will actually will whenever I do some REW measurement, it will actually be supported by this subwoofer over here. Alright, but for the right speaker, it will be actually supported by this left front subwoofer. So that is about directional base. It will actually go to the nearest, it actually will support the nearest speaker whenever there is sound given to it. So we also want to try the full range, see whether full range crossover is better, whether it's 40 hertz, 60 hertz, 70 hertz, 80 hertz, or 90 hertz, or even 100 hertz. So we're gonna try that in REW. So let's go through the Denon speaker setting. So as you can see, I'm already inside my Denon speaker layout. So the layout is that I pre-amplifier all the channel, that means all the 13 channel. As you can see, I have 4 subwoofer connection. I'm using all the subwoofer as directional, right? And then of course, it will actually, subwoofer layout will be front left, front right, rear left, and rear right. So this is the setup in my home theater under directional subwoofer. So let's get out from here and go to the website on the Wolferdale Diamond 250 series, see what is the specs, and then from there maybe we can try out the REW measurement of the frequency response from full range to 40 hertz and 60 hertz, and find out which is the best crossover hertz for the left and right speaker. That means is my main speaker. So let's go into the website. Inside the Wolferdale website. Alright, this is my speaker, my main speaker, left and right. This is the Wolferdale Diamond 250. Right, let's go into the specification. Right, it's actually a three-way speaker. It has a bass driver of 200 mm, which is about almost an 8-inch cone. Right, he has two of it. Mid-range driver 130 mm woofer caliber cone. Alright, for this, most of the people think if they have a bigger speaker with almost like two 8-inch woofer, so they would prefer to put full range. So let's check whether full range better or other crossover frequency is better. Right, so this is 89 dB, the sensitivity, and then recommended amplifier power is right up to 200. Peak SPL 110 is a 6 ohm speaker. This is the one that we want to talk about, frequency response. This speaker can actually go down to 35 hertz, right? Because it has a two bass driver, right? The bass extension is 32, and then the height of the speaker is more than a meter. It's about, with the spike is about 112528, sorry, 1128. And then the weight of the speaker is 29.4 kilogram, almost 30 kilo. So today we're gonna talk about this this frequency response. As you can see that the frequency response, it can go down to 35 hertz. So most people don't want to lose this response because they feel that the speaker can go down so low. So why buy a big speaker with uh, what is this, uh, two bass driver, and then putting it to 40 hertz or 60 hertz or 80 hertz of crossover, because this speaker can actually perform 35 hertz. So we're gonna try out. Currently, most recommended people will say you plus another 20 hertz. That means if I have a 35 hertz frequency response, this speaker can go down that low. I plus 20 is 55. So I don't have 55 hertz crossover. So the nearest one is 60. So I did put to 60 hertz for the past 2-3 years, because it was actually recommended by YouTubers or some research to put 20 hertz extra. The rollover from the speaker to the subwoofer will be a smooth one. So that is why they recommend. So let's see whether full range is good. 40 hertz crossover is good, or 60, 70, 80, 90, or maybe we can try 100 hertz. So how are we going to know which frequency is better? So we will do an REW measurement on each frequency crossover. I will start off with the full range, then 40 hertz, 50, no, not 50, 60, 70, 80, and see whether we can reach right up to 100, and see what is the best crossover for this speaker. Just to take note that after 40 hertz, the speaker will be supported by the subwoofer, the left and right. But full range, the subwoofer will not be supported. Full range, the speaker will actually be on its own. So let's go to REW and set up and take measurement, and we can read out which is the best crossover. Alright, I mean already inside the REW, I took the measurement. So how I take the measurement, I started off with the crossover of full range, and then I add on to 40 hertz crossover from the Denon setting, and then I took another measurement. Same goes to 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So the result is already here. So let's compare which is the best frequency as recommended for my Wolferdale Diamond 250 in my home theater inside this room. Right. So the first measurement is, before I could go further, I want to thank Michael Broadshaw. He commented one in my video that my graph limit was not correct. So he corrected me. Thank you so much, Michael. Shout out to you. And now, after setting the limit, so as recommended by Michael, the top will be 120 hertz and the bottom will be 60. So this is recommended by Michael. So hopefully the reading will be right. Do comment if I need to improve further. Anyway, Michael, thank you. I learned something from you. Thank you so much. So let's go to the first reading. So this is full range, right? This is the full range, and the smoothing was set up to 124, all right, 124. And then this is the low frequency from the full range crossover on the REW measurement. So the lowest it can go actually is over here, 23 hertz at 91.5 dB. This is very good because according to the specs, the speaker can go down to 35 hertz. By 35 hertz, it's actually 86 dB. Still very good. All right. So this is left and right. Left and right speaker together measurement. All right. But then I have a drop off over here, which is at 92 hertz, 66. And the rest of the frequency is still very good. All right. The mid range, the low, the mids, the upper mids, the presence, and the brilliance actually went up. Right, so the brilliance really went up because I have a super tweeter. So I have about 6.5 4K. I have about 94 dB, and then it slowly roll off to 20 kilohertz. Right. So if I were to set up 2 channel on my Denon, I think putting full range, putting pure direct to listen to music, I think this speaker can perform bass very well as the high frequency. So this is the 40 hertz. Sorry, this is the full range reading from the woofer there to 50. So let's compare with the 40 hertz crossover, right? Down. So this is 40 hertz crossover, right? It's supported by there's two subwoofer. As you can see now, it actually bring up the bass. All right, at 15 hertz, I'm getting about 102 dB. But then I always have this problem on the 20 hertz, but it did improve. So I'm getting about 84 dB compared to 72 dB. Okay, 72, and then this is 84. So a difference of 12 dB. So with the support of the subwoofer, crossover at 40 hertz, you can see that the frequency response is very good. And the rest of the high frequency is almost similar. Okay, so it seems like if you want to set up a home theater, the support of the subwoofer will be very good. But this is 40 hertz, right? So obviously I would not put full range. So let's take out the full range. Let's compare with the 60 hertz with the past few years that I already set up in my crossover. So you can see 60 hertz. Let's zoom in. Yeah, it's giving me a lot of input compared to the 40 hertz. I'm getting a lot input from 26 hertz right up to, wow, almost here, right? Almost like 122 hertz. I'm getting all the additional input from the 40 hertz crossover. Okay, so this is the 60 hertz crossover, right? So obviously I would not put 40 hertz. I'll maintain the 60 hertz. At the moment, this is the best. So let's compare with 70 hertz. Oh, 70 hertz. Sorry, the color is almost similar, but the one on top here, the one here is actually the 70 hertz. So as you can see, if I were to zoom in, it actually give me additional 23 hertz additional dB, right? It seems like the 70 hertz is much better. I don't know, but then it actually giving me a lot of input compared to the 60 hertz. Right, so all this while I'm wrong to put 60 hertz. In fact, if I were to change it to 70 hertz, I'm getting better frequency. Right, yeah, it's also giving me extra over here, right? And then of course the high frequency, yeah. So obviously I will change. I will change now, right? I will change now. Um, I will remove the the 60 hertz, and it seems like the 70 hertz is more of a better response. All right, so let's compare with now with 80 hertz crossover. So this is 80 hertz. Wow, you can see it's actually giving more input than the 70. I'm losing this over here, right? But still not bad. It's actually giving me a leaner. The 20 hertz, yeah, it dropped out, and then yeah, I'm losing the 20 hertz, right? 85 dB, and compared to the 70 hertz is 87. I'm losing 3 dB on 20 hertz frequency, but then I gain a lot. It's much more of a linear frequency, and from here onwards I'm actually gaining, right? So the high frequency, not much of a change. Over here it went up because I have a super tweeter attached to the main speaker, right? So this is definitely now compared to 70 and 80. I would now think that 80 will be a better frequency, right? So this is the 81. At the moment, this is what I thought is the best. So now take the measurement from the 90 and compare. So this is a 90, right? Yeah. Um, I don't know, almost. But if I were to zoom in, actually is giving more additional output than the 80. Right, let go. It's actually giving me more input from 110 right up to over here, right? 110 to 31 hertz. And then it's the same and it's giving more input on 23 hertz, right? And for the infrasound, it's actually roll off is much more smoother, right? Much more smoother than the 80 hertz crossover, right? So I think I will maintain at 90. Okay, so we remove the 70. Lastly, let's compare with 100 hertz crossover measurement. Okay, this is the one, but I love the roll off from this 90 hertz on the low, very infrasound base. And then let's go, yeah, the 20 hertz almost similar, right? And then let's go deeper. Let's zoom in. Yeah, the 90 hertz is giving more input on this frequency around 23 hertz all the way down until 25 hertz, and then it's almost the same. And then it's giving more input on from 31 hertz until this one, until this 41 hertz, giving at 99 dB. So the highest for this is actually on the low base is here, right? So it's giving me 106 at 23 dB. Okay, so okay, almost similar. Over here, I think the 100 hertz crossover is performing better, right? Performing better than the 90 hertz, right? You can see over here, right? But this part all, I think, yeah. But you know lah, if people buy a big speaker, I don't think so. They're gonna buy a big false standing. They're gonna put 200 hertz. But to me, 90 hertz is quite reasonable. It's quite reasonable. So my final thoughts, I don't know. Give your comment. Look at the frequency and then give your comment. You think what type of hertz, whether it's 90 hertz or 100 hertz, is better for my main speaker. But it seems that I want to stay at 90 hertz, right? So this is the champion, right? So all the while I'm putting at 60 hertz. Finally, after taking the REW measurement on full range, 40, 60, right up to 100 hertz of crossover measurement, I noticed that the 90 hertz is much better. So lastly, we compare back to the 60 hertz, which I was been holding on for the past 2-3 years, and compare with the 90 hertz crossover. So let's see what I have lost. So I have lost the 90 hertz. I actually from 36 hertz. I have lost all this until about here. I have lost all the input about here. It's about 131 hertz. All right. So that is 60 hertz. And the rest of the frequency from the low mid to the upper mid to the presence is almost similar. So if I put to 90 hertz, I actually will gain all this bass frequency, the bass and the sub bass. I have improvement on the infra. I think, yeah, I will get this. It's a very smooth roll off. There's nothing much on the 10 hertz to 20 hertz. There's no change much. But let's see. Yeah, no change. And then for the rest of the bass, I'm getting a lot of change. So this is the best crossover, right? This is the best crossover. I can think, or I already take measurement. So with that, hopefully this video helped. do comment and leave a message if you think the way the style that I'm taking to have the best frequency for my speaker, the way I do it, is it correct? If not, maybe you have a better way, you can leave a comment on my video. With that, thank you so much. Hopefully this helped to show you that whatever being recommended verbally by anybody, you should do some tests for yourself and find out what is the best crossover frequency for your speaker at your room. And don't be afraid to lower down or to raise up the crossover just because you have a big speaker with big woofer, but actually it's not synchronizing with the subwoofer. So with the subwoofer support, you can see that you have a very good measurement frequency response. So with that, thank you so much. Do like my video, subscribe, and follow my video. With that, thank you so much.